been sitting over Soldier Field since about 9 this morning, and it's not supposed to budge anytime soon. The good news, the folks don't seem to mind here in Chicago. Today, we reach Week 15, and we've got a good matchup in store between the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. They'll be led out by their veteran quarterback out of North Carolina State. It's Phillip Rivers.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
Set the turn, defense, let's go.
They'll run on first down. Carmichael. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field of the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
An early task, 2 plays in. This is 3rd and 2.
Let's go, team. Big series right here. We got to step it up.
From the shotgun, it's Rivers. And that's knocked away and incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin them back.
Let's go next. Number 53, Mike 53. Hey, what's up?
They'll run for the first time with Tevin Coleman. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27. Well, look at the numbers for Coleman in last week's game. There was no answer for him defensively. Over 200 yards, 2 touchdowns to boot.
And that was a fun film to watch because a few of those runs, it was apparent he was just not going to be denied. And his team is hoping that carries over to this week as well.
And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
From the 39, Jackson. That's caught by his tight end, Evan Ingram. Mark that down as a pickup of 13, and the Bears have the first. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. They'll run with Coleman on first down, and they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
On 2nd and 9, Jackson. Open to Ennis Ross, complete.
Well, from their point of view, this game could not be starting out much better, could it? Force a punt on defense, and now they're moving it crisply on offense.
Crisply, I like that. Yeah, moving it very, very well. Looks like the defense on their heels a little bit. You put a score in here, long way to go, but you're right, that's a heck of a start.
Yeah, and I think this is where the play caller is looking at his play sheet and saying, grab that dagger play, grab that play and just finish them off right now, because I think they'd love to gain that big advantage early.
8 yards, first down as they're able to convert. How about the start throwing the football? 4 for 4 on this opening drive.
Oh, he's slinging it. And oftentimes when you talk about slinging it, you're thinking about a guy throwing it all over the yard, not necessarily accurately. In this case, though, he's honing in on his targets, and he's delivering.
Yeah, the opening script, however, they drew it up for this first drive, going to plan so far. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. It's probably a pretty good sign here on the opening drive if your guys from the secondary are coming up and spilling things in the backfield.
How about the adrenaline and aggressiveness that led his eyes to the backfield to run up there and make that tackle, setting a tone early for his defense.
Now on 2nd and 13, Jackson. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. A good pickup there, 26 yards. They're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember when we sat in the production meeting with them to talk about this, and hey, you know, how you guys going to come out of the gate? I know I offered my help with a few plays, and they didn't seem to want it.
I didn't offer mine.
You know, you were the smart one. Whatever they're doing, though, it's working really well.
Time for a look at our starters here on defense. This unit, they're hoping to improve against the pass because right now, Charles, number 27 in the NFL.
And those are the kind of plays that this unit needs to make because they know that going against a team of this magnitude and the way that they're playing, they cannot afford to let them get on a roll early. Chip away at their timing.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. John Ross with touchdown number 12 on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This one taken just inside the 10. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Here we go.
The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. First carry for Royce Freeman. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. From the gun, Rivers finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. That one good for 20 on the catch and run. Just the first quarter, but tackling going to be so important going forward. They've got to limit plays like that.
And that's something when you see it happen early in the game and they don't get him on the ground, you can always tell that they were concerned about it going in. Because I can just tell you, from my days, I remember being in college and worrying all off-season about our season open opponent, and they had a receiver that could shake and bake with the best of them. I tackled him on the first pass of the game, and the relief was incredible. Ended up having a pretty decent ball game. But if I had missed him, it would have been a long night.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Rivers incomplete on first down. Here's 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Rivers. The completion good. This is Eric Ebron. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. They get 14 there. First down, Vikings. The numbers from last week's game for Ebron. 6 catches, 81 yards, and a touchdown. They try and run on first down, but to no avail. Tackle for a 2-yard loss in the backfield.
And he was able to pull that last pass in, but he's going to face a tall order here because he's going up against the number 2 unit in the NFL against the pass.
Back to the ground, this time with Freeman. And again, the run defense stout this time. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no more. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. On 3rd down, Rivers.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
Now, if this was a clear day in September, I'd say this is well within his range. I feel very confident about this kick, but let's be honest about it. In these elements, the difficulty level gets ratcheted up by at least a factor of 5.
And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Jackson now. He'll complete this to Ingram as tight end. And he's down right around midfield after a gain of 2, maybe 3. An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. They'll try and run for it here. It's Coleman. And he will have the first down as he gets this to the 47.
That's a tremendous group effort there, because when you talk about offensive lines, the best ones, talk about guys that play in harmony, in sync, and getting things done, and they did that on that play.
Yeah, especially on 3rd and 1. Got to be in sync, and they were. Give them a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. To throw is Jackson. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 31-yard line. This quarterback now, only 1 pass has hit the ground for him. 10 of 11 thus far. It's 1st and 10. Now Jackson finds his tight end Ingram. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. 16 yards is the pickup there and a 1st down for Chicago.
53, check 53. Now watch one.
1st and 10.
On the draw play, Coleman. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. A gain of 3, 2nd down. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Now it's Jackson. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. Will Fuller, his 19th touchdown now on the season as the Bears push further out in front.
When you're a great route runner, it makes you that much better as a receiver, because now your quarterback trusts that you're going to be where he expects, and he's able to deliver the ball on time.
So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
Rivers now to throw on 1st down. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Royce Freeman, the intended target, but it'll be 2nd down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
Rivers incomplete on 1st down. Here's 2nd and 10. To throw again. Rivers got a man open. That's Devontae Parker, complete. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
Watch the slap, watch the slap. Watch the slap.
1st down, Rivers. And nowhere to get away. Rivers is dropped. Give the sack to Lorenzo Carter.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
It's such an impressive first half to get that lead. Finding some room at midfield. This one complete to Christian Kirk. Touchdown, Vikings! Christian Kirk, his 5th touchdown now on the year, as they are now on the board here in the first half. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
The point after, no gimme in the snow, but it's up and good. And it's now 13-7. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it's polished off by a Viking score. And after the touchdown, here's Bryant now to kick it away. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. There he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence, does a great deal for your team, gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. A running play here on first down is going to go nowhere as he is tackled behind the line of scrimmage. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13. Now on 2nd and 13, Jackson, and that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down. The Bears on 3rd down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is going to be 3rd and 13. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Well, certainly some teams are not intimidated by down and distance on defense, are they? 3rd and very long? Let's go get this guy again. Big-time pressure.
And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. Out of bounds and close. The question, was it a touchback? No. They'll say it crossed out at the 2-yard line. Excellent placement, and off that bounce, Charles, I didn't know where it was going to go. It can be an inexact science as to where they place it, but they say the 2-yard line.
Yeah, I don't know how they really determined that. And let's face it, at the end of that play, one side's going to be happy, the other team's going to be unhappy. So, what do they do, shorten the hypotenuse? I mean, how do they figure that out? You know that stuff. You're the smart guy.
Oh, that's you, partner. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. You that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. On 2nd down, Freeman fighting to get back to the goal line. I don't think he got there. He did not get back.
I think he's got a great point. I really do, Brandon. But I would go ahead and up it to 6. I'm a former defender. To me, that's like scoring a touchdown.
Easy now. I'll go 4. I don't know about 6.
Come on. Come up to 6.
A lot of points. Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. He's got to be feeling pretty good, playing well. Team has the lead, so just looking to mount a drive here that ends in the end zone.
And all quarterbacks will tell you, hey, we love a running game, helps us out. But at the end of the day, they want to rely on their arm. Throw the football, feel good about things, keep things moving in the right direction. Right now, that's exactly what we're seeing.
And we'll see if that continues. After the fumble recovery, it's Jackson going deep downfield, and that's caught inside the 35. A huge play there for Chicago. 42 yards. Well, that certainly changes things.
Yeah, I think the thought process is they take this lead into the locker room, run something simple here and run the clock out. Instead, they get the big play. Now they have a chance to increase what they've done in the first half.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
2nd and 5 now. Jackson. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get a battle for it, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Mike Hilton. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line.
Mike, run 80. Mike, back two. Hey.
Following the interception here, Rivers. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as he'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24. Here's Rivers. Trying to get it to Thomas, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Telvin Smith. And he will score. Touchdown, Chicago. Short throw, pick 6 right there, those linebackers. They love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
Extra point attempt to follow here. He missed one earlier, remember, but this time he gets it to go. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Phillip Rivers now gears up to take the offense back out there. And how does he rally the troops, so to speak? He's played well, but they're down big on the scoreboard. How does he get his guys going?
To make sure they understand it's not a me game, it's a team game. Everyone has to come together. Everyone has to up the level of play a little bit, including himself, and find a way to make some plays in order to give them a little bit of a spark and rally the team.
We'll see if they can indeed rally down big on the scoreboard right now. Rivers incomplete on first down. Here's 2nd and 10. Rivers, and this is caught. It's Parker. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Now Rivers, and that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Rivers gets it off to Freeman. No gain on the play, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout, as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. They wound up getting nothing out of that 2nd down completion, so now here's 3rd and 10. Rivers again. And that will be incomplete with a clock showing 18 seconds now to go. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
That's it, baby. You go first.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. Time here for likely a couple plays if they want it, but with the field position what it is, maybe better suited to just sit on this one?
I'm with you totally. I would sit on it and get into the locker room and start over. But if they do decide to try and make a play, we know what the basics are. You run draw, you run screen. I would maybe run a little swing pass and try and get my lineman out in space and see if they can chop a hole into the secondary and see if he can run a little bit.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Jackson going deep downfield for... He's got a man complete. Past the 20. And he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done? Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heat.
And now due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half. The lake effect snow set to continue for the second half of action as we are back underway. Fairly short kick taken at the 14 here. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're doing.
Dashing through the snow. Touchdown, Chicago. Evan Ingram, his 3rd touchdown now on the year as the Bears push further out in front. Charles, that was a heck of a play.
It truly was because when he made that catch, he had to shake through some people, right? So that play, to me, a highlight film that should be accompanied by bass music, right? I mean, boom, 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 and he finds his way to the end zone. Terrific play.
The extra point up and good. And that'll push the lead up to 29 now. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here at half two.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. He'll get 15 and a Vikings first down. Rivers now 9 of 17 through the air. Not a great percentage, but it is 1st and 10. Running right, this is Freeman. He'll get only a couple down to the 44.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
From the 44, Rivers. This is complete to Michael Thomas. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
Hey, Mike 51, Mike 51. Stay with your man.
And it's 3rd down.
On 3rd and 1, here's Rivers. And able to find Kirk complete. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. They get 14 there. First down, Vikings. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
Up from his linebacker spot, Deion Jones making the play. Again, they'll run with Freeman. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7.
All day. Wait, 85.
Working out of the gun, Rivers. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he's going to be taken down short of the first, right around the 15-yard line.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
The kick by Bryant is good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. I'm kind of surprised by that they kicked the field goal. I guess you get some points, but this deficit third quarter, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. When you're down that much, kicking a field goal, does it feel a little bit maybe waving the white flag and just want to get out of here? Yeah, I think you got to go ahead and try and get some bigger points on the board.
This will be taken about the 12. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
Coleman now. And yet again, he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Great job by this Vikings defense.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. So they're going to come to the line here, and it appears try to go for it on 4th.
Stop your whining.
Here we go on 4th down with Jackson. And an alley to run. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down.
Not sure I agreed with the decision to go for it, but I definitely agree with his decision to run it. He picked up that big first down. I think he let his head coach off the hook.
That's what I was just going to say. If there's anybody more happy than the quarterback picking it up, it's the coach that saw him pick it up. A nice gain of 21 yards. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there.
And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. Corey Grant, his 4th touchdown on the year, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead will swell by 1 more. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Phillip Rivers now gears up to lead the offense on the field. He's played well. Good first half. He's continued that here in the third quarter. But Mike went under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
How about that? One of the so-called little guys putting the pressure on. That was a strong safety. When I was in college, we often called that a lightning blitz.
On second down, it's Freeman. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss. And now it's third down. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. To throw is Rivers. And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack. Trey Hendrickson in there yet again. What else is new? He continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks. Well, for last week's performance, which was so good, he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He got a lot of praise, and understandably so, from national media. Looking pretty good on that play, too.
And I love what he told us this week before the game. He talked about how much time they spend working on pass rush moves, every position, because anyone could go after the quarterback in their defense, and you can see how they've all absorbed their lessons.
So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33.
Here we go.
This is Grant. Down to the 30 after a gain of 3.
third quarter and you've got the lead, you're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
They go back to Grant. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a third down. They got to get to the 23 here on third. From the gun, it's Jackson. Running over the middle by Grant. And he's going to get the first down here as he's taken down at the 22. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
Check, 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 check. Check, check, check.
That's the end of the third quarter.
Here we
With
go.
the score, Bears 43.
Mike's 5-4, Mike's 5-4. Mike's 5-4.
On first down, Grant. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. A loss of 2 there. Second down. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
On third down, it's Grant, and he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1.
I apologize in advance, partner, but the beefeaters on the interior of this D-line, you just know they were licking their chops on 3rd and short. And yes, they were rewarded with a tasty dish, stuffing that one short of a first down.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball.
Now a hit and a loose football, and this is picked up by the Bears. And they bring this one back. A fumble return for a Bears touchdown.
Nice move.
Extra point attempt to come here. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This one taken from the 7. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Throwing again on second down. Rivers, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Trey Hendrickson able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
To throw on third down. Rivers. And he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively. But instead it just brings up 4th down. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
A terrific return. 30 yards all in all. And the Bears take over. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I enjoy. We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, We've seen a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it #1 for what we've seen this season.
And he's taken down inside the 30. Mark that down as a pickup of 13, and the Bears have the first.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on 3rd down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, and he fumbled it. It's on the ground, and the Vikings pick up the football. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line.
We've got plenty of weather here today. We've got some snow going on, and they've come out of a dome. And there have been 2 ways of getting ready for this. Some have said, don't worry about the weather. Just practice in your normal conditions and handle it on game day. And others have said, find some weather, find some conditions somewhere, and try and get ready. What do you think?
Well, whatever the preparation there, the snow causing the fumble. Rivers now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Rivers. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. That's a gain of 4 as we slip inside of 4 minutes left in regulation. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Rivers now looking for his running back, and he's got him. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. It's a 4-yard pickup, and it'll be 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Give him 6 yards in the 1st down. Rivers with a 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. To throw, Rivers toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete. He was trying to hit Thomas that time, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Rivers incomplete on 1st down. Here's 2nd and 10. On the draw, this will be Freeman. And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 11. Rivers fighting through pressure. Now a hit, and Rivers lost the football. And this is picked up by the Bears. 20, 10. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. Well, your QB's been sacked 4 times in the game already, and they're the holding goal.
And you know darn well the offensive line coach is frustrated and upset that he's been hit that many times already. He doesn't really care that they hold now. Just don't let him get hit anymore.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Here's Grant. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And they'll get to this and touch it. Looks like, yeah, right at the 15-yard line here. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
17 yards on the catch and run. It's a first down. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now, because now these plays are really for next week, try to get some momentum going.
Rivers on the money, complete. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. That first down completion only netted him 3. Second and 7. Throwing Rivers. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down. And now on third down, they'll need to get it to the 36 to pick up the first. Now Rivers. And now another turnover as this one's intercepted. Picked up by James Bradbury. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line.
So many times we end a game, and as we're recapping it, we're talking about what offenses did and how they won the game. Let's flip this one over. The defense, they frustrated the offense the entire ball game. That's why they're walking out of here with a victory.
And they're going to love to walk out of here with that as their final act, that interception. Good way for them to end it. And this will be out of bounds, and they spotted it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Use that as ammo going
Exactly.
forward.
Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. From the gun, Rivers. And that will be incomplete with a clock showing 18 seconds now to go. Christian Kirk, the man he was looking for. And now it's second down. Rivers incomplete on first down. Here's second and 10. Rivers to throw it. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Bears going to use the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this fourth quarter of play.
390. You must be dreaming.
Third and long for Rivers. And he's going to go down again. And now here comes their final timeout as they take it with 8 ticks remaining. Here's Riley Dixon now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys